And then everybody, like I want to start every episode of DNA with, I'm going even further. I'm about to tweet out my collection of this amazing artist's work, the things that I bought from her. So I'm going to share that in the URL on Twitter right now. And while she's giving you the bio.
Okay, thank you so much, Gary. Let me first say, I really appreciate everything you do for artists and all of your support. And this show is awesome. So thank you, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
inviting me. Um, yeah, just also thank you everybody for joining and coming in to learn more about me. Um, my name is MUMBOT. My real name is Jade, but yeah, I go by the art name MUMBOT, and I have been working on NFT space since March. I'm like super nervous right now. So
You're
just give
fine. I got you. Don't even worry. I'm gonna guide you through this whole thing. This is as kind and as awesome of a community as you can get. And I know you're nervous, and I know you're the best. So don't even worry about it. Just tell it, like, talk to me the way we talked 2 months ago or 3 months ago on
okay.
FaceTime. Like, I'm
Sure.
like, I can't wait for people to discover your art.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm a Asian American artist. I'm from originally from the West Coast, but I lived in New York for 20 years, and most recently have been Southeast Asia based, and living in Thailand for 3 years until recently. I've been back in the New York area. Um, yeah.
How did you discover? Let's bounce around. Actually, let's
Okay.
go back further.
Okay.
How early do you remember being into art? Day one, like first grade stuff, or it came a little bit later?
Oh yeah, yeah. I doodled since I was a child. And I have artists that were in my family. Like I grew up looking at like this old painting from my great great grandpa that was like of a forest actually. So it would be like above the TV, and I would look at that painting and um, yeah. So for sure that was like something
So
that.
a lot of the stuff that you do is based in forests. Some of your
Mm,
projects are even named that way. So
mm.
you're telling me that your grandfather or great grandfather, I didn't hear because I'm just sorry about that. It chopped for a second. Painted something in a forest, and that had kind of conscious or subconscious impact on you, and has become a context for a lot of your work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I even realized it till I just said it because you asked me that question. Yeah, but you asked me about one of my earliest memories, and it was definitely being like a toddler and looking up at this painting that was passed down in the family that was hanging on the wall, and there was a forest. But yeah, I'm inspired by like nature and science and all kinds of things. So, um, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting really nervous again. I'm trying to not be
Mumbai,
nervous.
listen to me. I'm so in love with your work. As you know, when did we first connect? What, 2, 3, 4 months ago?
Yeah, I think in September.
God, it's 2 or 3 months ago. And, you know, I'm just, don't be nervous. Like, this is just you and me, and just a lot of people are listening on. Like,
Okay.
talk to me about your cat. Actually, let's frame you up. Like, for everybody who's listening, I just tweeted out um, Mumbot's account. If you click her link tree, which I'm going to now click, what's interesting about your work is you've got work in a bunch of different places. Like, I remember when I first stumbled on your work on one of those Saturday new artist stuff, and I was like, oh, this is it. And I was like, these characters speak to me. And but I was like clicking around because you had stuff on Foundation, you had stuff on OpenSea, you had stuff in different places, and then I saw you had apparel and plush toys, and then you had this incredible Discord that you have, and you're also part of this artist crew. I'm
Mm.
just real. You're doing so many cool things. And then the piece that I most love, one of my favorite pieces I know that I have, and I bought two of them. They were three of them were sitting there. Is the one that you put up on Known Origin. Can you talk about that collaboration?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, how I entered the NFT space, was really special because, I had been interested in doing NFTs since 2020. I had some crypto from back in like 2017, and I didn't really feel confident enough to really put out an NFT until I had started working on a collaboration with my good friend Cyrus James Khan. He's also Thailand based. Um, we also, with the help of my husband, who kind of helped facilitate that collaboration, because that's our connection. We decided we wanted to work on this collaboration. We worked on it for a long time, for like a month, and then we just a lot of dialogue, a lot of education. He helped onboard me, and that experience, because he's such a good person, it really helped like set the tone for like how I wanted to be as well when I entered the space. Like with just in general how he was, like he wasn't like we could argue also about stuff and it was like totally cool. Like like civil,
It
like
was it was a
civil.
true collaboration.
Yeah, truly, yes. It was cool. And then so that we did an edition of 3, which you own 2 of, and that was what was also cool about that was, which was insane, by the way. Insane
Yeah, because
moment.
you had them at a fairly like a hefty price by your comparison. I remember looking all
Mm,
around, and there were some .06s and point of this, and these were 3 ETH, if I recall properly.
that's correct. And I actually fought him down a little bit of ETH because he had already been selling, had a lot of collectors, and you know, this one was like, it had more value and it also came with physical items. So, um, the pricing, he originally wanted to make it higher, and I actually said, well, it's just hard because I can't, I'm
Yeah, of
new, and
course.
so, but what we did say is that we were okay if it didn't sell right away or anything. We were like really proud of what we make. That's the main thing. So just proud of making something, and and the collaboration itself. Um, so yeah, so those sat there for like 6 months before you pick them up. And in the meantime, in like about April, I put my first solo Genesis piece up on Foundation. And in that scenario, my good friend Joshua Davis, also known as PlayStation, who is like a person who was like a mentor to me, a person I looked up to. He's actually an incredible like code animation artist, and like you, he's been in Christie's and things like that. He gave me the invitation to be on Foundation, and when he did that, um, you know, I of course like had to work really hard on this piece to put up there to like not waste the invite. But Foundation is pricey, and uh, I think ETH was really high back then, like gas. So anyway, I used all my ETH to put that thing up, all the ETH that I had at that time.
Oh,
Um,
unbelievable.
yeah. So that sat there for a long time too, and I spent a good amount of the summer, like spring, summer, on the Hicketnunk community and on Tezos. And again, in that scenario, the NFT community, from like the way Cyrus was to Joshua Davis to like the way the Hicketnunk community was, everybody was very welcoming, and just cared about like spreading the love and the education and like collecting and finding our way together. So I in turn was like that's how I entered the space. I was like onboarding people, and like even recently, I mean I'm still doing it. I'm kind of improving it now, but I had started something called Ghost Club, where I would like do some rooms where I would just spotlight certain artists and try to feature friends from Thailand and some of my friends. So I'm skipping around, but
No, this is fine. Don't even overstress. Like, you should see what's going on Twitter right now. People adore you. Like, the reason I want you on and why I want to do this show is you're not like this is you're not a salesperson that is making a NFT or an influencer from TikTok making an NFT. Like, you are a down in real life hardcore artist who's transitioned into NFT work that I think is super authentic. So
mm,
I'm just trying to really put you in the right mindset, because I want you jumping around. Like, your charm that I fell in love with and I see in your work is coming through more than like your direct clarity of what you're trying to say. So keep being you, because everybody on Twitter and my Discord are falling in love with you, and people are buying the shit out of your art, as they should be.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You deserve it. This is the great era for artists.
Mm.
Like, for personalities, actors, comedians, models, Instagram was the great era. Like, a lot of people who would have never made it doing that, right? When I watch King Batch, right, and Melvin Gregg on fucking everything now, commercials, movies, Netflix shows, no Vine, no Instagram, no their careers, right?
Right.
This is the greatest era for what I would call long tail artists, humans who would have to get jobs at my agency as an art director, or worse, not even do art, like work at retail or corporate or HR. They're gonna, in the next 10 years, this 10-year window, all of you are gonna make a real living, a great living. Not everybody, because there's gonna be millions of you, so not everyone's gonna have a cosign from someone like me or a different reason they hit pay dirt. But this is an amazing era for us to be alive. We just went through a 25-year window on the internet where artists were told, do everything for free just for exposure and maybe make something happen. Now you're selling art. Mumbai, you're selling art.
Yes, thank you. So on that note, like, just to chime in with what you're saying, because of NFTs, I've been able to, like, completely update my studio and self-invest in my own projects, like my plush, for example, like the second plush collection, and that there's been a lot of challenges. Let's put it that way. I think any creatives who've ever tried to produce their own toys or plush could probably recognize that there's a lot of challenges to finding the funds to do that. So yeah, NFTs have just opened up a lot of possibilities for me to building, like, my brand, and also to, like, directly connect with the people who love the brand, without, like, trying to find some outside, like, there's people who are already showing that they love the brands, and then they can directly, like, connect with me now, and we can help make it happen. And it also allows me to be able to control, like, my own creative vision. And yeah yeah the other thing that I didn't mention, I feel like I should mention, is that like, I hear you talk about this sometimes as well with your projects, but I also, like, I have a vision to be like the next Sanrio, born out of the NFT community, where I can have, like, an animated series. Like, I actually worked on a pitch bible for the last couple of years, and I was pitching it to animation studios, like, even earlier this year, like December, January. And now, with with, like, some of the growth that's been coming with the NFT space, I've been working on a plan for a second phase, where I'm basically creating NFTs that are literally going to be like a collection of scenes that are
Yeah.
literally the storyboards for,
Yeah.
like, an animated pilot, right? So like, they're going to be like building blocks of projects that I want to build in the future.
Love it. Let
Yeah.
me jump into a couple things.
Okay.
So I jumped into the one of three that I bought two of, and ironically, I just put in my Discord and on Twitter. The other one's up for sale, so I think that might be gone very shortly. But let's talk about the cute, the weird, and the creepy. So I
Okay.
think for a lot of people listening, this might be the project that they can ape into right now because it's well priced. As of
Okay.
the second, the floor is 0.86, right? Tell us about these, because I really like it, especially Candy, Leaves, and Cats. That girl that you make with the big eyes always speaks to me.
Okay. I can actually go kind of deep with this. I don't know how deep I should go, but
You should go ridiculously. Like, this show is only about deep. It's just me and you. It's just about you.
okay.
And, like, this is what the fucking space is about. So, like, let's fucking go deep.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate I really appreciate you so much, Gary.
By the way, it was
So
so fun meeting you at the Beeple screening.
yes. That was amazing.
It was. All right, go ahead. Let's go into this one
Um,
because I think this is the well-priced one that people might be able to get into. So what
okay,
was,
so
yep.
so her name is the girl from the forest floor. Like, I know that's long. She does have a nickname, but I don't want to say that right now. It's just girl from the forest floor. So the deal with the girl from the forest floor is that she's like half forest fairy, half human, and she, you know, she's always seen with a ghostess in like a lot of the imagery that I've put out over the years.
Yes.
Um, so like she actually is a kind of a reflection of myself because
Okay.
um you know, being mixed ethnicity, but also, you know, just like some, I'll just talk about her. Her situation, like finding her way, like trying to figure out where she belongs, is a part of the full story. Really, it's like a kind of a underlying story arc, which is kind of the main story arc because I think that's what people will relate to about the
Mm-hmm.
character. She has to find her own family. Like she ends up part of a family of forest creatures, ghosts and skeletons, and you know, interesting character cast of characters. They're not like her birth family, but they're, the side note is that actually a ghostess is like, she's actually an ancestor of a ghostess. So um and that whole storyline is the reason Augustus is my main character. Augustus is like,
Got it.
yeah, he's been like wandering the earth for, you know, like forever, hundreds of years, and he finally is finding peace in this magical forest because sort of he's with her. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. So their relationship is core.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what about some of the other characters, right? Because that that Shumi,
Yeah.
Wolf Shumi, that thing is so fucking cool.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Give us for everybody who's listening, and there's just about just for context, there's 6,000 people listening.
Oh my god.
Um, I'm gonna share the OpenSea to the cute, weird, and creepy collection right now. Tell us about this character because it's awfully cute and a little weirdly scary.
Yeah. So Shumi Mashroomy is kind of like the one. There's a like personality traits that you know make Shumi Mashroomy kind of like, you know, the a little wacky one, very excitable, uh, very, what's the word, like not very calculated.
Like a little chaotic and a little bit hyper.
Yeah, yeah, hyper chaotic, might be the one that like just kind of might do something without thinking. um and
but
like
is
whereas,
but is also macro super strategic and is throwing everybody off with a perceived chaos while he's on a master plan to completely bring kindness to the world. Could that
yeah, there
be?
you go. Yeah.
Okay, well, I need to buy a couple more Shumis.
Yeah, actually I do a lot, I do have like a lot of, I like to play with the mycelium thing, you know, and mycelium, like that the toy that came with the NFT that you bought had, like, I talk about the connection with like the blockchain and mycelium, and that's why I named it like that particular version of the Shumi Mushroomies as a not fungible fungi. I wrote like a whole spiel about it, but but
You know that this, so I don't think I really told you this, and I've been alluding to you that I want to do something with you, um,
yes,
and you just said that and just like it's one of the reasons. So I believe that mushrooms and fungi are genuinely the most underrated thing in our world. I actually believe that.
me too. Oh my gosh,
And so
totally.
I felt that from you and like I'm very inspired by this topic and want to really, 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 really talk to you about it.
Okay,
But
I'm
we'll talk,
into it.
we'll save that for another day. What we're doing right now, Mamba, just so you know, this is not just kindness for you. It's kindness for the 4,700 people that are still with us. We're giving them the alpha of the alpha of the alpha if they're paying attention.
That's amazing.
All right, so let's keep
So
talking about your stuff. So,
okay,
what? Well, let's go into MUMBOT world, right?
okay,
Because let so that's an easy thing for people to find. 15 items on, this was the first work that I bought from you, and the work is just amazing, just across the board. Obviously, the character that we just talked about, but some of the stuff is just so. Ruby's Boo Boo is
Mm.
like one of the nicest pieces of NFT I own. The blue is just bananas. Can you talk about that piece specifically?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that's so in that scene, it's kind of like a scene that um Ruby, she's a witch, she's alone, she feels alone. I actually like to depict scenes sometimes that ultimately might be scary feeling, or uh have some kind of a vibe that like that, but I want to add something sweet to it. Like I always want to add some hope and sweetness to a scenario. So she's obviously bleeding, she got hurt, um and she's just like alone, and of course there's some creatures there, but they're just hanging out, and then Augustus comes, to give her boo boo band. um, so, it's like a little generous offering, a gesture of kindness in a scenario that otherwise felt like pretty lonely. So just any little gesture of kindness is kind of like what I'm trying to get across there in this dark
I love it.
sort of scene.
Talk to me more about MUMBOT World and that collection and those 15 pieces.
Okay, yeah. So the in the MUMBOT world itself, that's a place where I wanted to be able to like have my kind of more epic, like expressive scenes from like of the characters in their element, or even some abstract kind of like representation of a vibe that I'm trying to portray with MUMBOT world. And in that collection, it's like, I kind of wanted to have like um the more like like tell stories with the images that are crucial characters, about crucial characters in the MUMBOT world. There's like a lot of side characters that I haven't even gone into yet, but anyway, um they're like kind of the epic scenes, if you will. So there will be more there, like a few more
Mhm.
like more like in-depth pieces in there. And I'm hoping that like I can start to explore more of like the relationships between some of the characters. Like if you can see like Bedhead, two best friends are Mossy the Moss Spirit and Shumi Mushroomy the Mushroom Spirit. So that's like a scene, and that's a typical scene. Like Shumi is just like slacking off asleep literally on Mossy's head. So and Mossy's like the wise calm one who doesn't really say anything unless he's got something good to say. So yeah, and then what
What
else do we?
about what about falling leaves? Like that's just such a pretty piece.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, falling leaves. I did to celebrate, the fall. I
Is
was
that
living
is that
in.
a is that a one of one?
That's a one of one. Yes,
God
yes.
damn, I want it. Okay, go ahead.
Fall is actually my favorite season, and when I was living in Thailand, there's no fall. So so there's no Halloween, there's no fall, and you know, being back, it was like that energy. It was like the minute I could feel that like little bit of fall energy, and cool like wind, and like as soon as the leaves were changing, I was like, that's it. I need to do a piece like totally dedicated to just the whole group, just literally watching the leaves. I mean,
Mumbat,
so
I gotta tell you something. There's a post on Twitter right now from Crypto Attic. It's actually Crypto Estad one 26 seconds ago. She posted a photo of her daughter or his daughter, um, and the daughter of this maybe 7 to 10 year old, 6 to 10 year old, drew a Mumbot ghost and has Mumbot and at Gary Vee on it. You have to see it on Twitter.
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking. Did you retweet it?
It's I'll retweet. Yes, I did retweet it.
Oh my gosh.
You see it?
So cute. That's amazing.
Is
Ah!
like right? Doesn't that feel amazing to you that like something that you like you like look at that.
That is amazing. That is so cool. Yeah, this is like what,
What's
you
interesting
know.
about your project, as I'm
Mm,
watching kind of like everybody react and tweet, is you don't have that many NFTs, right? We know we did Women and Weapons,
mm.
and Sarah Bauman, I saw you in the room, so you listened to that. There was 10,000 pieces of that project, but with your stuff, there's just not as many pieces. Even though you do ERC 1155s, which means that you're doing prints,
Mm.
there's 10 of them or 20 of them. Um, there's not that much work. I haven't I'm always looking at your stuff. There's just I think that's kind of cool. Like it's a little more limited.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to go at my own pace, because I actually look at it. This is all like I'm always doing everything like with a very long-term perspective. I've been making things and building Mumba World for like over 10 years. So I'm gonna do it whether I have a studio, which as I said, like I I I've been able to upgrade my studio a little bit thanks to NFTs. But like whether I have a studio or if I have a little corner to work on, either way, I'm gonna still be making it and you know working towards it. So
That's one of
yeah,
the reasons. It's one of the reasons I bought into you. Why I think you're a great investment, not just somebody I want to support and collect. When I did all my homework, I saw you did plush already, going to the Anaheim shows, and like this is like what, to your point, this is what you do. If this, even though I know it's not, but if this NFT thing was a fad, you'll be carving these characters into trees, drawing them in the sand at a beach, or
yeah,
continuing to make canvas work, right?
that's right. Yes, exactly. Actually, actually, I was gonna just mention, because I didn't really get to mention this, but like when I entered the NFT space, we were also kind of in lockdown, like quarantine mode out in Thailand, and uh, groups like Tiki and Rose's Ventures Club, Lowbrow Art Collective,
Yeah, let's
Outsider
talk
Art
about
Collective.
let's I really
Yeah,
want to talk about the Lowbrow Art Collective because that
yeah,
Discord inspires me to no end.
yeah, and Dalek Town, of course. I want to say like all those guys are like real true artists. Like a lot of them in real life I looked up to, and like there's people who are just in there would be doing like co-working. We'd be sitting on like Clubhouse just co-working. It would literally be a room that's quiet, and people are just doing art, and we would maybe sometimes like uh PTR, like check out what I'm working on, a work in progress, like on our avatar. And
That's
you,
cool.
it helped me get through kind of a rough time. Like there were some that it's really important that I mentioned that, because I would, I still uh like I'm involved with these artists regularly, and just having their support and being able to support them too is part of why I love the NFT space and the ecosystem that's surrounding it. So I mean, like from in every sense, like there's so many ways that it's been a key to like just the health of the space.
I
um
love that about you. I know that you're part of your crew and they care about you, and you should see some of the tweets coming in of the small group of people that knew you before. I mean, as you know, this is probably going to be a moment where your career is going to be different. There's a lot more eyes on you now, and just how you were adored. I went into those discords. I read how people talked about you. One thing that that I say, but I'm not sure everybody believes me, is I put in the work and effort. I really do put in the work to know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I mean, I believe you.
Yeah, because you lived it. We
Yeah,
FaceTime, we hung out, we did these talks. You watched me buy your art for the last 3 months. You've seen me in the discords of the art collective and things of that nature.
yeah, totally. And you ask like real questions too, so I knew that you're like, yeah, that's really cool, and that's a good example too. I actually I followed you for a long time as well. So just just how you operate is also very inspirational for a lot of people who are like here and following you. I'm sure you know that. So I just want to
Thank you
say
for saying that. Let's let's go back to more of your stuff. So we talked about the cute, the weird, the creepy. We talked about MUMBOT World. Talk to me about something I don't know, which is I've been so busy last 2-3 weeks. I decided to do DNA. I knew that you would be on it because it's
Mm.
authentic to me. And I saw this Bored Ape Ladies Club. What was that about?
Oh yeah, I have to mention Board Ape Ladies Club. So, I think this was a while ago, maybe back in April, but Dr. Novo Crypto actually was in a room, a big room, and it was I think it was NFT Good Vibes or something. And I was in there and I heard her mention that she's trying to put together a project that has to do, it's like a DAO, and she wanted to do something for the ladies because there were only 2% of all the apes were lady apes. And
Mm-hmm.
not only that, but a lot of the I don't, I'll move on to the next part in a second, but basically I just heard her say that, and then Blau was in the room, or Three Lau, whatever. He was
Yeah,
like,
Blah. Mm-hmm.
Blau, okay, he was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you can have my ape, because she was looking for lady apes. He had a bunch, I think, and he gave her one. And
Amazing.
so yeah, and then actually I followed her to the next room because someone was like, "Follow me to another room. There's some people with apes." And then I wanted to listen to her and how she was talking about this project. And so she went into another room and she was talking to them. And they were some Chinese owners of apes, and they, people were like interested, and they said they maybe one of them might give her an ape. So anyway, the way she spoke about her project, I really could tell like she had really great intentions. And so I messaged her right away and I said, "Hey, I love your project. I think it's cool and I want to be a part of it. So if you ever are looking for artists to participate, just let me know." She actually let me know like way later. So this is like August, and said, that I got into the group of resident artists that were picked, by her at the time. She had like put together a group already. So yeah, that she had formed this DAO and I'm in it.
That's
And
awesome.
it's awesome. And there's already another drop of 12 new artists for November, and they're looking for applications for December. It's really cool, and I'm really happy to represent for the ladies because they're I love that the NFT space has a lot of ladies in it, and
I
that
agree.
it's
I do
awesome.
think because it's based on art more than just tech. A
Mm.
lot of people talk about we need more diversity, and I'm like, of course, always in perpetuity. But take it from somebody who's there for Web 1 and Web 2, that's sitting here in Web 3, between art and collectability and kind of like culture, there is a lot more diversity from a gender and race standpoint in this era of like the world is changing by a trillion compared to what I saw in 2006 and 7, which was, to be very frank, not only white male, but incredibly engineer brilliant white male. Like I was out of place as a bad student, right?
Mm.
It was a very, so like we continue to track on. I want to touch on a couple things before we bounce off. So Foundation, I see on foundation.app/Mumbot, you only have that one piece, huh?
Yes, and I also
Will
I
you do
know.
more?
Yeah, I will do more. I'm
Okay.
actually planning some like masterpiece epic thing for for that.
I just
So
got you just got a little gangster there. That was a little you just like you went a little dark. That excited me a little bit. All right, talk to me about the fact that you have Mumbot swag on Hot Topics website. Hot Topic, a
oh
store many of us grew up loving. Um,
yeah.
you got some teas. You got you got some good shit here.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually was I was actually scouted by their buyer at DesignerCon 2019, and they asked me if I would be interested in having my stuff in Hot Topic, and of course I was like yes. So I made that, we made that happen with the plush, and then later on, a few months later, they also asked me if I'd be interested in having more of a presence on the site. So they actually gave me a like my own URL and like like a
Yeah, yeah.
capsule collection for apparel. So I actually have new apparel coming out there too soon. And
Will you be announcing all your new stuff on your Twitter? Because right now I'm going to do a hard right hook in my Discord and on Twitter that everybody should follow you on Twitter for sure. Is that going to be a
Okay.
good place to get your new information or?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I will. I always post everything I post is mostly on Twitter now. Twitter and my Discord. Definitely follow Mumbot World Discord as well.
When can we see new art from you? Because I want to buy some.
I'm working on it. I have a lot that I have to kind of like I have to kind of button up and just kind of focus on like now that like events have passed and I'm not going to Art Basel. There's no like I would love to. I've always wanted to go to Art Basel, but I've never had a I don't have like a do you know what I mean? Like I can't just go. It's not like I can go spring break or something. You know what I mean? I don't have any like thing happening specifically. So I'm not going to that. So if I'm not doing that, I'm just going to be making art. So that's what I'm going to do.
I totally understand. It, if there was, and out of all the months that I've been putting the pieces together to why I want to buy your art and why I like you, you know, for me, I'm starting to realize everything is purple. It's not red, it's not blue. It's all selfish and selfless. It can coexist in a great way. I want to buy your art because I think over the next 20 years, you're going to be very well known and that's going to be a good investment for me. But I also adore the fact that now I have millions of artists to choose from. So I can also pick people who are phenomenally sweet and wonderful and kind. But out of all the things that I've sniffed out from kind of trying to watch you navigate, what you just said right now is the single reason I'm smiling and excited. In a world where 85 to 90% of the people that are creating things for NFTs are rushing to Art Basel for the parties, for the flex, for the fun. You just sat here right now in a moment where you have some things going on
Mm.
that you don't have a really big specific reason to go to Miami. Thus, you're going to make art.
It's true.
It's the biggest thing that I think everybody, for all of you that are in here that are thinking about who are the one of one artists or like the people that aren't necessarily making PFP projects, but doing kind of art pieces, whether they're one of one or kind of small collections, kind of the way I see MUMBOT, it's in pieces. I think you really need to know the artist because a lot of people are going to throw up stuff to just make some bucks, and that's fine, or it might be a side project, but full passion, always about it, loving it more than breathing, doing it regardless of the success that they get along the way, because that's the big one. The amount of people that are all about it, but then hit pay dirt, make some money, and decide to slow it down, they're going to hurt you as an investor. As a collector, it's amazing. You changed and supported someone's life. And I have so much collector blood in me. There's a very good chance I'll never sell any of your pieces, Mama, right? But
Oh.
as an investor, if I get into a pickle or I need some money and like I need to,
Mhm.
you know, for everybody who's listening who's making bets on artists, let there be no confusion. Their work ethic and their ambition is pretty much the variable of your success in some ways. And so I appreciate you mentioning that. Anything, we're going to wrap up here in 3 minutes. We're going to do 45
Okay.
minutes with you.
I,
Anything we didn't touch on, I'll give you
I
the floor.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a collaboration I'm really excited about coming out with I onboarded Sergio from the Deftones and Quicksand. He is an amazing musician and so also Bash Bash Waves, my friend from Spain, Rocco. So we have a collaboration coming out, and it's just like another thing that I love about the NFT space again, about how it opened up the opportunity to, allow people to experience Mumbot World in a different way. So where I can also um, lift up someone from the music industry because that's really important to me. I didn't really mention that, but like music has always been really important in my life, and I've always been very involved in like different somehow like just like music world has been really like big connection. um and then the last thing I wanted to say is like my family is a huge part of my just like how I function, including like my son is 16 and he's been editing all my promo videos. He's like loves editing and he's starting to try to learn Blender and stuff. My daughter, she's done some work with me. Like she's actually been helping me since she was born. So she's always been there like sort of as like my buddy. She was helping me even at my booth at Designer Con. And my husband helps out because he knows a lot about like video production and branding and things. So he helps me a lot too now, especially now, like, he's really chipped in with the Discord when I was like, I can't handle this, Discord's getting crazy. So yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I just want to emphasize that I'm going to be here for a long, long time. So forever. So I'm just not going anywhere. I'm going to keep creating and working towards building these things, building the MUMBOT world.
Well, we'll be following along, MUMBOT. Thank you so much for being the second artist on DNA. Thank you for sharing your time on a Saturday evening. I wish you nothing but blessings and health and continued creativity. And I should mention first of all, thank you for all the artists who made some one-of-ones for my birthday. But I would be lying if I didn't say when I got to see your ghost coddling my gratitude gorilla as a happy birthday, one of one, and you calling it Grateful Ghost. I loved it, and putting it in their Forest moments. So thank you for that. And I'm really, really cheering for you. I love Forest moments. And especially you did a couple Forest moments on Polygon on Matic, right? They're really well priced.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Were those airdropped? Is that why they're on Matic?
Yes, because I was doing first airdrops on Ethereum and it became very, very expensive. So I started to do them on
You're telling me, sister. I'm going through it. I got book games coming out. I got to drop 120,000 tokens. We're running math, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where layer 2 I'm going as well. So, but yeah, the ghost hug is so fucking cute that those two ghosts make a heart.
I'm going to send you a pin of that in your box that I'm making you. I have a lot in the box now.
I can't even thank you enough. I'm so proud of you. I hope everybody who's listening now understands why I buy your art, and I hope many, many, many of them start doing the same. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Gary. You're the best.
Bye.
I love
Cheers.
you. Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Everybody.
Thank you. Everybody who's on, please leave your 2 cents. Recap your thoughts of the show on Twitter right now. See ya. Bye.
Bye.